Well, Luis, today there's a lot of talk about sanctions against Russia, Lukoil refineries, and service stations. But ordinary people don't quite understand what's happening. I'll ask you directly, is this just another sanction, or is there something bigger behind it?
No, this isn't just another sanction. What's happening with Lukoil outside of Russia is a silent reconfiguration of power in the energy market. We're not talking about a small company. Lukoil accounts for about 2% of the world's crude oil supply, and its foreign assets are equivalent to about 0.5% of global production. When you touch that, you're not just moving a detail, you're touching a part of the system that moves trillions every day.
Wow, to bring this down to earth, what kind of assets are at stake? What are we talking about specifically?
We're talking about almost the entire international package of Lukoil. Production fields in Iraq, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Africa, Mexico, refineries in Bulgaria, Romania, and a stake in a refinery in the Netherlands, the Zeeland, and more than 2,000 service stations spread across Europe, Turkey, the United States, and other markets. All of that together is estimated to be around $22 billion. It's a forced fire sale. Either they sell it under pressure or those assets get frozen, seized, or taken completely out of play.
That sounds huge. And the sanctions? How do they translate into day to day life?
I'll give you three quick examples. One, Iraq at West Kurna 2. Lukoil had to declare force majeure at one of the most important megafields, West Kurna 2. Why? Because the Iraqi government halted payments in cash and in crude. That opens the door for other Western or Asian companies to say, well, if Lukoil can't operate, I can. Two, the refineries in Europe. In Bulgaria, the government changed the rules of the game to be able to take control of the Burgas refinery. In Romania, the future of the Petrotel refinery is being discussed. In the Netherlands, the stake in a key refinery, the one in Zeeland, is at play. In other words, it's not just about sanctions, it's about redrawing who controls the infrastructure. Three, the service stations. In Finland, the TrendOil chain, with about 430 locations, nearly a fifth of all stations in the country, has already announced its gradual closure. At the same time, hundreds of Lukoil stations continue to operate in Turkey, Romania, Bulgaria, Moldova, and about 200 on the east coast of the United States, but under temporary licenses with expiration dates. That's where people feel it. Jobs, taxes, logistics, supplies.
Where is the concrete impact seen? It sounds like chaos, but also an opportunity for other players. Who is preparing to take over those assets?
Here comes the interesting part of the game. The attempt to buy a portion of these assets by the trading firm Gunvor already fell through due to pressure from the United States. But that doesn't mean no one wants in, on the contrary. Behind the scenes, majors like Exxon, Chevron, and large funds like Carlyle are analyzing which pieces of this puzzle they want to buy. Every refinery, every field, every network of gas stations could end up in the hands of players who do have Washington's blessing. And pay attention to this detail. Every single operation requires a specific authorization from the US Treasury. That turns every asset into a geopolitical chess move, not just a commercial deal.
Now I'll ask you in the direct style of TrendOil Vision. What's your critical take on all of this? What's really behind the talk of sanctions?
Look, I'll say it bluntly, just like we do at TrendOil Vision. This isn't just about cleaning the market of Russian money. This is about redistributing energy power at fire sale prices. The barrel doesn't just disappear. The same oil keeps circulating, it keeps getting refined, and it keeps getting sold. What changes is who gets paid, who controls the infrastructure, and who gets a seat at the big table when margins and negotiating power are divided up. Who pays the immediate cost? The refinery and station workers who are left in limbo. The local suppliers who depend on these contracts. The host countries that lose fiscal stability and jobs. Meanwhile, the big financial players and the international majors are positioning themselves to buy strategic assets at a discount with political backing.
So, if I'm a trader, operator, or entrepreneur in oil and gas and I'm listening to this interview, what should I be learning from all of this?
That if you only see this as just another news story about sanctions, you're already too late. Every sanction redefines routes, discounts, spreads, counterparties, and risk levels. Knowing who gets West Cornatu, who ends up controlling Burgas, what happens with Teboil and all those pieces, that's not geopolitical gossip, it's risk management and opportunity spotting. Contracts change hands, risk premiums are sold, new intermediaries appear, payment terms change, and if you don't understand that, you end up operating blind on a board that's no longer the same.
To wrap up, Luis, what's coming up on TrendOil Vision to dive deeper into this topic?
We're preparing a live webinar on TrendOil Vision where we're going to break all of this down, naming names, how sanctions are rewriting the map of energy assets, who really loses and who wins in silence, and above all, what it means for your daily operations as a trader, broker, or entrepreneur in the sector. If you want to be at the table and not on the menu, subscribe to the channel, leave your questions, and stay tuned for the webinar announcement. There, we'll be talking with no filter, with real case studies, and with the same critical perspective as always.